Shoulders relaxed, sitting up tall. In through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pausing. Exhaling through the nose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cooling breath on the way in. Holding that energy in. Exhaling. Do a few rounds of that at your own pace. You can take it at your own count, really experimenting with that breath in. Holding. Exhaling through the nose. Cool air in. Calm, long breath out. And Sitali Pranayama is a great one for when we need soft focus or concentration. You just need to chill out a little bit and cool down. It's a wonderful tool to use, not just for beginning and ending yoga. Wherever you are in your breath, just take a big breath in now, filling up the lungs. Big sigh out. Start to rotate your head in circles. Again, we're going to keep that link between breath and movement. Breathing in on the way up. Out on the way down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Today, last week, it was all about the 5 elements. Today, we're going to be really focusing on that water, free and flowing and cooling movements. So on your next inhale, take the hands up. Stretch them up, 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 as high as you can, long through the spine. And then we're going to fold over your crossed legs. So really walk them forward as much as you can. Inhaling, stretching up your mat. Exhaling, folding down. Letting your head drop as low as it goes. Releasing through the spine as you stretch your fingers up. All about tension release here and stretching out the back of the body. Walk your fingertips over to the right side. Spider fingering them over, stretching the left hand side of the body as you go. Really pressing that left hip back and down into the ground. Next, lift up that left arm. Open the heart up towards the ceiling. Gazing up. Taking it over just to intensify that stretch. Arms going back to center. One stretch out to the front. And then going to the other side. Spider fingering the hands over to the left. Stretching through the right hand side first. Pushing that right sitting bone down. Before lifting your right arm up. Opening the heart, stretching out. And then coming back to center. If at any point you want to experiment with that Sitali Pranayama during the yoga, feel free, see if it changes your state of mind or the experience. But if not, just breathe nice and gently, either through the mouth or the nose. And then we're going to walk back up to sitting. This time, extend your right leg, sole of the left foot going into the leg. And we're going to focus on how each side of the body is feeling different. So lifting the arms up. Exhaling, hands going down over that seated leg. Dropping your hands to wherever they land naturally. Calf, ankle, or foot. Folding down. Before again, straightening that left arm, opening it up, heart goes up towards the ceiling. Seeing if we can intensify that side body stretch. Walking the arms back up. Changing legs, left leg goes out. Right sole of the foot comes in to meet it. Inhaling, stretching the arms up, smooth, calm, chilled. Inhaling, stretching, exhaling, folding. Hands land wherever feels good today. Really focusing on that stretch through the back of the leg. Lifting the chest on the inhale. Exhaling, folding down. And just notice how this side feels different to the other. Yoga is all about balance. But to get that, we've got to observe that imbalance first. Notice what areas we need to maybe spend a bit more time on. Where we need to put our focus. So just watch each side of the body. Noticing what's going on. All right, coming back up to sitting. We're going to move to a tabletop position now. Where we're opening up the hips, opening up the legs, the side body. Now we want to get a little bit of movement in through the spine. So just find yourself in a still tabletop position, first of all. And then start to move the hips in circles. Just waking up every bit of the body first, really going as back and as forwards and as side to side as you possibly can. Before coming back to center. We're going to start by rising the back up, really pushing the shoulder blades towards the ceiling, arching the back, gazing down, and then inhaling, dropping the belly, pushing your chest kind of through your arms, gazing up, exhaling, rounding, really focusing on those micro movements as you go. Inhaling, reversing, gaze lifts. Exhaling, rounding, rounding, rounding. One more time. Inhaling, dropping the belly. One breath, one movement. Exhaling, rounding. We're going to lift the right arm, bring it up towards the ceiling, opening the heart once more, stretching the fingers, bringing that energy in. And then swooping it down, threading the needle underneath the left arm. Sending it on through. And then letting your right ear go down towards the mat. You can either stay here. This is a lovely stretch just to wake up the spine. Or if you fancy taking it a little bit further, you can stretch out the left arm. Stretch out that left leg as well. Maybe even play around, seeing if we can catch that foot. Taking it up, playing with the balance. Bringing it back down. Coming to center. Finding your center. Maybe closing the eyes, finding that breath again. Before swapping sides, lifting up the left arm, up, up, up. Wiggling those fingers right at the top, opening the heart, and then swooping it down under the right arm. Again, you'll want to put your left ear down to the mat this time, twisting outwards. Either staying there, and really enjoying that stretch, or maybe challenging, shifting out that right leg, the right arm as well. Holding that pose before coming back to tabletop. Finding our point of stillness again. Taking the hands to the front of the mat, spreading them out in big stars, lifting the hips, lifting them up, downward facing dog. Pedal out the legs, pressing one foot down, followed by the other. Focus today, it's all about length through the spine. Calm, slow, steady breath. So really just work into that downward facing dog. If that's at all tricky on the wrists or the elbows, remember tabletop is our other option here, and we'll work on that a little bit more. Either that or down on the forearms as well. But from either tabletop or downward facing dog, we want to lift up briefly and then see if we can walk the hands towards the feet. We're going in reverse this time. Back, back, back. When you get there, folding down into a forward fold. Opposite hands take opposite elbows. Shake the head, yes. Shake it, no. Maybe have a go bending the knees just a little bit to make sure your torso is really nice and pressed against your thighs. Hanging out here. Before taking your two first fingers, wrapping them around your big toes. And then using your fingers just to pull that little bit, lengthen the spine, gaze in front of you. Calm, steady breath. Seeing how far you can straighten the legs there. Engaging through the torso. Exhaling back down into that fold. Just a really small change on essentially the same posture. We'll do that one more time, taking the first two fingers, wrapping them around the big toes, gazing forwards, lengthening the spine. Focus at the front of your mat, straightening those legs. Exhaling back, releasing the bind, taking your opposite elbows, softening into that forward fold. We're going to take the hands down to the mat, walk them to the front of your mat, feet going back until we get into our high plank position. Weight going into the hands. Again, focus at the front of your mat, holding there, before lifting the hips back to downward facing dog. Rise your right leg up to the ceiling. And again here, feel free to take tabletop if at any point this is too much. Lifting, lifting, lifting that leg before bending the knee, opening out the hips. So either like this or with your left knee down, opening the hips, pointing that toe from whichever variation you're in. Stepping that right foot through to the front of your mat. We're going to come to lizard pose here. So we want the right foot right at the edge of the mat. Take your left leg back as far as it can go. And then let your left knee drop towards the floor. Release that back foot. And let your right knee just fall out to the side. Drop your head. Focus on your breath. Concentrate on the exhales. Those cooling breaths. Hanging out here before pressing back through the hands, coming to a low lunge position, so rising up, hands going up, slight back bend, opening the chest, exhaling, hands going back down. Half splits, taking the right foot forwards to your level of comfort. Other leg goes back, again, wherever you feel most comfortable. Inhaling, stretching up. Exhaling, folding down over that front leg. Moving with the breath each time. Deepening into the position. Before pressing into the fingertips, this will help us come out. Coming out of the pose. All the way. Standing lunge here. So we're lifting up now. I don't think I did that very gracefully. Inhaling, hands going up again. Feeling that back bend. Exhaling, taking them down to your mat. Right foot steps back to meet the left. Exhaling, lowering down. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Lifting the chest, gazing up. Exhaling, downward facing dog. We're going to go again on the other side there. Downward facing dog or tabletop. Lifting the left leg this time, pointing it, pointing it, pointing it to the ceiling. Before bending the knee. Opening up through the hips. Maybe even gazing underneath your left armpit. Staying there, focus on that lift and opening. Before coming to lizard on the left side. So left leg coming to the front of your mat, outside of the mat. Dropping that back leg. Coming down onto your hands and just letting your torso, your head sink down. Letting that knee open out to the side. Coming back to the breath, working with your body. Noticing the rise and fall each time. Before gazing forwards. Low lunge. Inhaling, rising the hands up. Stretching up. Gentle back bend here. Exhaling, hands go down, half splits. Folding over that front leg. Cool, calm breath. Feeling that stretch on the back of the leg. Holding there before seeing if we can rise all the way up to standing lunge. Weight goes into that front foot, lifts up through the back. Inhaling, stretching up just as we were with low lunge. Hips facing forwards. Inhaling up, smile up, rising up, up, up. Exhaling, hands going back down. Well done. Taking the left foot back to meet the right. Exhaling, lowering down. Breath out as you go. Breathe in, upward facing dog. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Pedal out the legs. Take a bit of a rest here. Child's pose. Knees tabletop at any point if we need it. And we're going to go again, building in a couple more poses as we do with that sequence. So lifting your right leg, either in downward facing dog or tabletop. Bending at the knee, opening out the hip. Maybe even gazing under that right armpit. As you do, lifting, opening. Before taking it through to the front of your mat. Lizard, lowering that back knee. Hands inside of the right foot, lowering down. Cooling breath. Inhaling, rising up. Opening the heart, focusing on that long spine first. For introducing gentle back bend. Bringing that smile, that confidence in. Exhaling, hands going down to the mat. Half splits. Straightening that front leg. Folding over it. Gaze going down. Focus going inwards. Lovely. Now it's coming next, we're going to see if we can rise up to that standing lunge. Weight goes into the right foot. Tuck the back toes. Inhale up. Rise the fingertips. Stretching, stretching, stretching. Staying here before opening out warrior two. Pivot the back foot. Hands going forward and back. Focus that point of concentration on the middle finger. Holding here. That mixture of breath, of effort, of strength and softness. Straighten your front leg. Triangle we're going to be coming to, so feeling like someone's pulling on that front fingertips. Letting the hand drop down. Right hand goes down. Left lifts. Again, this is working the inside of the thighs, introducing a twist in, staying here, either keeping this version of triangle, or maybe experimenting with the bind, seeing if you can touch your fingertips behind your back, gazing up. Before taking your hands back down to the mat, focusing your gaze at the front, before stepping your right foot back to meet the left. Exhaling, cool and steady as you go down. Inhaling, rising upward facing dog, lifting those thighs off the mat. Exhaling, downward facing dog. We're going to go again, either downward facing dog or tabletop, the two options for this. Inhale, left leg lifts. Bend the knee, open out the hip. We know roughly where we're going now. Bending, 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 before bringing it through to lizard pose. Left leg comes to the front, right knee drops. Taking your hands forward as the left knee falls out to the side, folding down. Inhale, rise up. Half splits, bending over that front leg. Deep breath here. Weight goes into the left foot. We're going to rise up to our standing lunge. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling, opening out, warrior two. Nice. Really feeling that pull on the fingers, the rise up through your chest. Our strong, confident warriors, Virabhadrasana. Staying forwards. Before moving to Trikonasana, triangle pose. Straightening that front leg. Pulling on the left hand. Letting it fall down. Inhaling, rising up, energy going up. Bringing that smile back in. Either staying there, experimenting with the bind, holding your pose with softness and strength. Releasing the hands down to the mat. Left foot meets the right. Exhaling, lowering down. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Pedal out the legs. Take a couple of breaths here. Reset. I don't know if you can hear in the background of mine, but I think there's a school trip that just went past. Lots of happy children in the background. Stretching the legs. This time, lift the right leg, but just lift it right up to the ceiling. And then step it through, warrior one. Inhale, rising up. Reintroducing that gentle back bend here, variations on the same theme. Lifting the heart, feeling the breath. Opening out, warrior two. Keeping that deep bend in the front leg, nice straight arms. And this time we're going to move to warrior three here. So for this, hands coming to the front. Pivoting that back foot. We're going to see if we can step up. Really, really keeping that back leg nice and straight. Lovely. Hands one straight line. Holding there. And then transitioning to dancers. So for this, bending that back leg, hand, taking it, and then lifting that back foot, keeping the hips as parallel as possible to the floor. Often it's useful if you've got a wall in front of you to kind of press your hand towards the wall. Focus on that lift up as well as the kind of pull back, stretching, and then releasing. Inhaling, rising the hands up. Exhaling, folding down. Coming to Uttanasana, forward fold. Resetting after a slightly more challenging balance. Moving the legs. First two peace fingers wrapping round the toes. Lengthening the spine. Big breath. Exhaling, releasing. Hands going down to the front of the mat. Legs step back. Lowering down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling, upward facing dog, chest lifts. Exhaling, downward facing dog. We're going to go again on the other side, lifting that left leg up. Bringing it through warrior one. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, open out, warrior two. Bring your focus back here. Our lovely warriors. Before finding your way to warrior three, however you want to get there. So hands going forward, back leg lifts, up, up, up. Embracing any wobbles, I think I am today. Straightening, straightening, straightening. And then bending that back leg, coming to dancers. Taking the inside of your back ankle. Rising it up. Stretching further out. Focusing on keeping those hips as parallel as possible. And then coming back down to your mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Opposite elbows. Shaking it out. First two fingers taking the toes. Inhaling, straightening the back. Gazing forward. Exhaling, releasing. And we're just going to now come onto our knees. Rock pose here, a variation on child's pose. And this is a great one again for resetting. So inhaling, stretching up. Exhaling, just folding down. All we got to do. Let your hands just hang out either side of your legs. Focus on that breath. If you're feeling quite warm, maybe breathing a little bit faster. Coming back to that Sitali Pranayama, breathing in through the mouth, out through the nose. Inhaling, rising up, keeping the knees on the mat. Knees about hip width apart. We're going to come to camel pose here, but a slight variation with eagle arms. We want to have that lift up as well. So for this, hands in front of you, right hand or right arm under left, wrapping it around, aiming eventually to get towards palms touching. Doesn't matter if they do or not, just however close we are. Setting your gaze in front of you. Tucking the toes, if that feels like it gives you a little bit more stability. And then inhaling, lifting the elbows as high as you can. Introducing a really gentle back bend. Exhaling, untucking the toes. Coming back to that rock pose, but keeping the arms in eagle. Exhaling as we go down. Pausing at the bottom. Before going again, rising back up to center. Releasing the hands. Shaking them out if we need to. And then going the opposite way, so left arm under. Moving towards the palms touching. Inhaling, lifting the elbows up, up, up. Exhaling, gentle back bend. Heart opening. Still chin gently tucked, coming out if at any point it feels like it's too much. Exhaling, coming back down. Sitting back onto your feet. Arms going down towards the mat, rounding the spine back up. One more time, we're going to lift up. This time, point your fingers out in front of you, releasing them, shaking again if we need, straightening them out, fingertips in front. I thought it's too hot to do proper core work today, so our plan is straightening these out and then leaning back as far as you can, holding wherever is comfortable. You should feel the shakes in your legs, keeping the stomach nice and engaged there, and then pulsing ever so slightly for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling back up nice and straight. And we go again one more time, hands in front of us. Leaning back. Don't push it too far today, wherever you feel comfortable. And then we pulse again for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Back up, stretching. Exhaling, child's pose. Knees go out wide. Hands go forward. Stretching the torso down. Forehead going down to the mat. Breathing there. And we're all going to meet lying on our backs now for the final sequence. So taking your legs round, stretching them out. And then as you lie down, tuck your hands underneath your bum and see if you can kind of pin your arms underneath you. Walking the shoulder blades in as close as you can, palms facing down to the ground. And then from here, look up, see if you can look at your toes, rising the torso up, and then back down. We're going to move to Matsyasana fish pose. So inhale, lift the torso, look at your toes. Exhale, let the crown of your head go down towards the mat, rising your chest up, pressing the shoulder blades in. More of our heart openers, hip openers today. Big breath in, big sigh out. Breath in, exhale. Releasing the head, releasing the arms, wiggling out the elbows once again. Rising your right leg up towards the ceiling, bending the knee, bringing it just in towards the chest, pressing it in. And then if it's available to you, grabbing the big toe and seeing if you can straighten that leg up. If that isn't available, just taking your hands, back of the thigh, calf, wherever you are, staying there and really just stretching that leg up, 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 feeling the stretch on the back again. Breathing here, making sure your left foot is flexed as well. Before taking that right leg, crossing over, we're going to come to a variation on the supine twist out to the left. Hands either side of your head in like a cactus position. Feeling that gentle twist. But we also want that feeling of expansion across the collarbone. Calming down, cooling the body down. Taking your leg back to center, stretching the right foot out to meet the left. Lift your left leg up, bend the knee. First pushing it into your chest, hugging it in. And then either two fingers taking that big toe, stretching it up. Or hands, calf or thigh. Whichever variation, pulling it as close as is comfortable towards your torso. Let your left leg drop out to the right side. I have to shuffle along my mat here for that one. Letting that drop over. Hands either side of your head, cactus position. Focusing on the space and expansion through the collarbone. Long breath in. Even longer exhale. And your joints just sink into the mat. Coming back to center. Flexing both feet, stretching, stretching, stretching. Before bringing both knees into the chest, giving them a hug, rounding the spine. And then lifting the legs up to an inversion of your choice. So that might just be waterfall, which is a great one to do, by the way, on hot evenings before you're going to bed, just lifting the feet up, feeling that circulation, kind of changing direction. Staying here or coming to a shoulder stand, if that feels good to you today. Whatever variation it is that you want to pick, just going with that, sticking with it. Nice. Oh, I see some beautiful shoulder stands, some beautiful waterfalls there as well. Exhaling, coming out of it in your own time. If you feel you need a little bit longer, by all means stay there. But when you come back out, take soles of the feet to touch. Supta Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. So letting your knees drop wide to the edge of the mat. Walking your feet in as close as you can get them to the bum. Right hand going onto your belly. Left to your heart. Just noticing the rise and fall here. Feeling whatever breeze you've got in your room, in your garden, wherever you are. Letting that wash over you. Rather than mind over matter, mind with matter, moving your breath, body at the same time. And then stretching out, releasing the feet into Shavasana. If you need to take one big long stretch before doing so, feel free. Before releasing your hands down by your side. Closing the eyes. Tucking your chin ever so gently in. You've made it through the hot July yoga. Bringing that smile back, inhaling, exhaling. Take some deep breaths. This time inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. With each breath, notice your body begin to relax. I want you to imagine, this might be for real, that you're lying outside, seeing the sun shining overhead, feeling the sunshine warming you up one body part at a time, toes, up through your legs, hips, torso, shoulders, arms, neck. Just noticing the sun's warmth being there for you. And then visualize a cool body of water in front of you. It could be a lake, the ocean, a river, a swimming pool. Pick your favorite one. You stand up, take a deep inhale, and dive in. Notice how the water feels on your face, and your hand, and your skin. Notice the temperature and the sensations. And watch yourself continuing to dive deeper and deeper. Come back to ascend towards the surface for just enough time to get another deep breath of air. And then dive back down. Inhaling, rising up towards the surface. Exhaling, breathing, descending again. Notice the change in pressure, in light, as you rise up. And then exhale, descend. Come back to the surface. Floating on the top of the water. Breathing on the back of your head, your body. Make your way to dry land. Feeling the sun once again warming each part of you. The cool earth under your feet. Notice the sun showing up once again. When you're completely dry, just bring awareness back to your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Cool air coming in. Letting it go again. We'll roll over to one side, whatever side feels best to you. Before making your way back up to seated. Nice, stretching up, up, up. Moving each side. And then inhaling, hands going up. Exhaling, opening them out. One time, hands going in, rising them up. Exhaling out wide. Take hands to heart, up to your forehead. And with an open heart, an open mind, hopefully a coolish body. Thank you for joining, everyone. Thank you.